So we've actually got a bit of an update here, guys, for Competitive Season 16. That is right, there are changes coming to Competitive, and we're going to cover them in this video. Alright guys, I'm Stylosa, and welcome to the channel. So, firstly, before we get into this, I want to see more of this stuff. When new competitive seasons roll around, there should be major changes to come. They should do stuff to make it more interesting. They should drop changes. They should do things like that. What this change is, it's not really that major for most of the player base. For the player base it will affect, it's actually a massive change, and this might have some future implications, so it's definitely worth us covering this. And when I mean future implications, I mean it might affect everybody, you know, throughout the ladder, because this just affects Grandmaster players at the moment. So check this out. This is what Scott says from the forums. I'm going to read this exactly off, and then we'll go back and discuss it, because, I mean, we have to quote this exactly. So this is what he says, but I won't put it on the screen. You can watch my awesome gameplay in the background. All right, so he says, "Hello, everybody. Starting with Season 16 of Competitive Play, Grandmaster players with SR over 4,000, will no longer be able to queue for competitive matches in a party size larger than 2. In an effort to have higher quality and more fun matches for everyone, Overwatch actively tries to place parties of similar sizes together to create fair matches. For the vast majority of players, this feature of the matchmaking system works reasonably well. For our Grandmaster players, making fair matches is always more difficult, simply because there are fewer players of their skill level to place together. It's even harder if we allow Grandmasters to queue with larger groups. We believe this change will help create better quality matches for all Grandmaster players. Thank you, and please continue to share your feedback about competitive play." Okay, so this is something which affects Grandmaster players, and what this does is it means you can only solo queue or duo queue, and that's it. So when you're above 4,000 SR, you will not be able to go into a triple stack. Now, what happens at the super high level is you get triple stacks, right? And they're really, really good. Like, really good players, 3 of them together, they generally will dominate. The game will find it really difficult to find another 3 players of the same skill level to stick on the enemy team. So often what it'll do is it'll find a couple of duos, or it might just have 6 just individual players. Now, at that level of the game, the trio of Grandmaster players will beat the players that are not grouped together, right? They will just straight up beat them, because it's like the stupid high level of the game. Now, for me and you, this doesn't really matter, right? It's like, okay, GM players, who the hell's a GM player, right? Not that many people. So how could this affect most of the ladder going forward? Well, here's the key critical thing. This is the first time they have ever, and I mean this ever, restricted group sizes in competitive. What they're saying is, yeah, we've got this dynamic queue, and yeah, sure, you're supposed to be able to queue as a 6 stack if you like and go in, and you can, but wait a minute, if you're GM, no, you can't anymore, because we want the quality of games to be better. Now, here's the question I've got for the devs, and the question I've got for you guys, and I want to see what you guys think about this in the comments below. Would you prefer solo queue and just duo queue as the only way you could play Overwatch, right? So throughout the ladder, you know what it's like, right? I've been in games where there's like a group of 5 people and you're just the odd guy on the side, right? Okay, it's fine, but they don't even join voice chat. They don't even talk to you. You don't even know what's going on. They just do their own thing. I've been in games where there's 4 on our team, or maybe there's a group on the enemy team and there's none on your team, and you feel like, oh, this isn't really fair, because there's like 3-4 guys together and we don't have that, but oh my god, we're getting rolled because they've got way better communication. Now, maybe that's anecdotal evidence, but I felt like that's happened to me quite a few times. Now, the question is, like I just said, would the game be better if it only had a solo and a duo queue? Now, I would really, really, really like competitive to have 2 different modes. Now, I really want a solo queue mode, because I think the game trying to work out what your SR is quite laughable, to be honest, because we all go out there and we have games, right, where we're absolutely playing like awesome, we're playing amazing. Maybe, okay, let's just use Soldier as an example. Maybe you're an awesome Soldier player and everything's going right, it's going great. You've got a really great team, you get 50 eliminations in a game. That's like extremely good. It's on Ball Sky, you win, it's all good, it's great, everyone loves it. The next game though, you're going in a Soldier again. The problem is, you are maybe in a team that doesn't really form a team, or maybe you don't really have a tank, so maybe you've got to play a tank, and it's like, okay, whatever, you lose that game. But actually, you're not playing to your full potential in that match, right? Because, well, you were forced to play tank, but maybe you wanted to play DPS. Now, that's a problem for a role queue system. So you're probably thinking, well, Sty, what the hell? If it was just solo queue, what does it matter? Well, this is the thing, right? I'd like to see SR split up. I'd like a solo queue where we could just go in a solo, and that is our SR in solo queue, which is kind of what we've got now, unless we queue into another team with a group of players, or we start messing our rank up. Now, some of the players who consistently get to the highest levels on the ladder, we're talking like top 50 slots on the ladder. Like, these are like probably pro players or players that are like extremely good at the game. They tend to stack together, and they tend to play at certain times of the day. Yeah, sure, they will solo queue, but most of the time it'll be in a triple stack. There was a very famous pro player triple stack that would religiously get to the top of the ladder just because, well, they're playing in triple stack. So they know that there's very unlikely the game's going to have 3 similar pros that on the enemy team are going to play and beat them. And the reason why they wouldn't go for like 4 or 5 or complete full teams is you don't really get that much SR off that. So 3 was kind of the sweet spot. And honestly, they were probably abusing it. But like, to be fair, this doesn't really affect us. And we shouldn't even really care about that. It's like, who the hell is like in top 500 in a triple stack, right? It's very, very rare. The more interesting thing to me is this is the very first time they have conceded that actually it probably isn't a good idea to let you group however you like in the dynamic competitive queue. So maybe, and this could be wishful thinking, but maybe going forward we will see an individual solo queue competitive, and then we might see a team-based competitive mode. Now, I'd like to see that. I mean, would you guys take a solo queue and then a duo queue competitive? I mean, that'd be pretty funky, right? Duo queue? I bet a lot of people out there do duo, and you had like 3 duos on each team. That could be really cool, actually. And it'd probably be easier for the matchmaker to find that. But again, like Scott said, the issue with GM is there just isn't that many players there. So when the game's trying to form matches, the matchmaker, it's like, okay, we've got 3 GM players here. What do we do? Well, we probably have to put them against like 6 top 500s or something, because how are we going to balance this game? They can't be against players of their similar level. And then it takes too long, and then it ends up building a game which isn't that great. So you could say, on the other hand, this is a bit of a band-aid fix just to make it easier for the system to deal with higher level players. Whereas in Platinum, in Silver, in Gold, whatever other rank, there's a lot of players to build from. So if you are in a triple stack, it's probably much easier to find another triple stack of the same SR and stick them on the enemy team and let you guys go at it. But I do think it's funky. I do think this could possibly be the first little insight into them saying, hey, maybe solo queue competitive is going to be a thing in the future. Guys, I've been Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, remember you can follow me on Twitter, which is @Stylosa. It's also the same on Instagram as well. And I'll catch you lovely, lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo.